What's up, superstars? On this video, we're gonna be talking about pressure. I'm not talking about pressure you get when you have to hit a deadline. I'm talking about heat press pressure. Now, is pressure important when we're talking about DTF transfers? Yes, it is. Pressure is one of the most important factors when it comes down to getting a proper heat transfer done on your t-shirt. Now, in the past, a lot of folks were using vinyl. Vinyl, you're not gonna require as much pressure because you're basically just stamping a vinyl on top of a shirt. But when you're talking about DTF transfers, we are printing ink right onto a film, and you want that ink to be embedded into the shirt. When it's done properly, you're gonna be seeing deep lines that are gonna be falling against the shirt, which I'll show you guys later. That shows you that the transfer is pressed well and well against the shirt. So let's go and talk about what we're gonna be doing here. Now, what we're gonna be doing is we're gonna be testing out two different heat presses. This is a popular heat press that I've seen a lot of YouTubers use. It's a HTVRONT auto heat press, but unfortunately this does not have a pressure knob. It doesn't have a pressure control, so you can't really control and increase the pressure. Now, we are comparing this with our GEOKNIGHT. This is a $1,600 heat press. It is expensive, and we are using this as an example because we are able to adjust the pressure. There's also a pressure gauge here. So we're gonna be using this for the test. Now, we are using a Bella Canvas 3001 shirt, and we're gonna be pressing one side with the HTVRONT heat press, and then on the other side, we're gonna be using the GEOKNIGHT DK20. We're gonna show you afterwards how it looks when it's properly pressed versus one that is only stamped on with pressure that you cannot adjust. So let's go ahead and take a look and get this test done for you guys. So let's go ahead and get the shirt set. We're gonna remove the GEOKNIGHT transfer, the HTVRONT transfer. For test sakes, I'm gonna go ahead and flip this over just to make this test a little bit easier. I'm gonna go ahead and move it to the side since I'm wanting to split this t-shirt between both the designs. Let's get the HTVRONT, get it centered. I'm making sure that there's no wrinkles underneath. Everything is good to go. 7 seconds. I'm gonna let this cool down momentarily. Now let's go for the peel. Grab a corner. I'm gonna flip the film upside down. Repress. Now, one thing I also want to mention, this design does have slight gradients to this. So with gradient, it's not quite a solid edge, and this is what happens. It's not super solid, and so you're not gonna get 100% transfer rate. So this is what happens. It's really not noticeable at all, but that is something that you get when there's not enough pressure. So this is a good indicator of that as well. Now, with that said, I'm gonna go ahead and get the other heat press fired up, and we're gonna go ahead and press the other design. So I got the GEOKNIGHT fired up. We're gonna go ahead and press this side of the shirt. I did wanna mention one thing before we do this. We are not sponsored by HTVRONT or from GEOKNIGHT. This is a test that we're doing it ourselves. We are just wanting to show how you guys can get better quality transfers. So let's go ahead and lay this out. We're gonna keep this design halfway on. I'm gonna go ahead and grab my transfer. It does say the GEOKNIGHT, so let's go ahead and lay it here. Okay, everything is nice flat. It's within the heat press. And again, we have this set 300 degrees, 7 seconds. We have this at medium heavy pressure, more like heavy pressure. It's at 7 out of 10. And another reason why we like this heat press is because it has a pressure gauge. You are able to see how much pressure you have. So let's go ahead and press. 7 seconds. The pressure is at 7. Auto release. It kind of pulled off, sorry about that, but let's just leave it for a bit. The better way to have done it is to use tape to tape it down, but I failed to do that this time around, but it's fine anyways. We'll just let it cool down before we peel off the transfer. So what happened here, guys, was the shirt was in the middle. Normally the shirt is on both the left and the right side, so there is enough weight to hold the t-shirt down while you're lifting the transfer away. But again, we were doing this for the test and it peeled against the heat press. This is a clear example of why you use heat press tape or use a Teflon sheet like this. But anyways, we're gonna conduct the test. That's the most important thing here. I'm gonna go ahead and do a peel. So we're just gonna grab a corner, we're gonna peel, and then now I'm gonna lay this down and I'm gonna go for a second press. I'm gonna go ahead and use the sheet this time around. Now they look identical, it looks great from afar, but we're gonna go ahead and take a look at the details because that's really where you're gonna see the standout. So let's go ahead and lay this down. Now before we take a look, again, most of the time this may work. Both presses may work for your job. It depends on what you're trying to do, the usage, how long you're wanting this to last, if it's just gonna be for a 1 or 2 day or a week event. But if you want something that's durable, that's gonna last a very long time, what you're looking for is you're gonna be looking for the lines that run vertically on the t-shirt. So let's take a look first at the HTVRONT. Now, what I'm seeing here is you're seeing a really flat layer. There is no texture to the transfer. It's just sitting right onto the shirt. That's what you're seeing here. It's just sitting right onto the shirt. There is no vertical lines that are ingrained in there, none of that. Now I also mentioned that the end did not transfer all the way through. Now it's very, very minor. You don't see a big difference, but on the GEOKNIGHT, you get that extra little tip, even from the gradient prints, because it forces that over. But the most important thing that you're noticing here is you're seeing the vertical lines that are running across the shirt or the transfer here. This shows you that the transfer is embedded into the shirt. It's gonna last a lot longer. You're gonna get a better stretch test. This is what you're looking for. So let me go ahead and bring this a little bit closer with this guy so that you can see them side by side. And I hope that we are gonna be making it able to capture this, but you can see super soft layer here right on the surface. It may bubble up when you do a wash test. It may prematurely shrink, but here, this is properly done. You're gonna get those grain lines. That's what you're looking for. That's the money shot right there, guys. So you guys just saw the results that came off the press. I'm gonna put this aside. What I'm gonna show you guys next is actually t-shirts that we did do a wash test on. If you guys have not seen that video, we compared a few different heat presses. We did a couple wash tests and also a couple pressure tests. Make sure you guys watch that video next, but that's how we got the results of these wash tests. This is gonna show you what happens when the t-shirt does not have enough pressure and you throw it into the washer machine. So what you're gonna see here on the left side is you're gonna see a transfer that was done and it did not have enough pressure. You do not see any visible lines that run across the fabric, but most importantly, you see some premature shrinkage here. The transfer starts to bubble up like this. You start to see a little bit of some veining. So this is what happens when there is not enough pressure. Everything is still on there. It's just an effect of what happens after the wash. Now on the right side, this has also been washed, but you do see some visible lines that run across the shirt that follows the fabric. And most importantly, you see a nice solid transfer where it follows the t-shirt. There's no premature wrinkly here. And you do again see all the lines. This is done right. So this is the result of a wash test. So in conclusion guys, as a DTF printer, we can control our vibrant colors, our ultra fine details, but at the end of the day, you guys are the one that's finishing off the shirts with the heat press. You wanna make sure that you guys are investing in a good heat press. Find something that has an adjustable control knob, find something that has a gauge. But what we also recommend, if you guys are really looking to take it to the next level, find an air pneumatic heat press. There are many out there. I'm not affiliated with any, so I can't really recommend it. But air pneumatic heat presses are great. You got really stable pressure all around. It's easy on the back. You can press for hours and not really feel it. Now, also, if you guys are using air pneumatic, have your pressure set between 30 to 40 PSI. So we went over insufficient pressure. We went over sufficient pressure. Now, if you guys found this video helpful and you guys learned something, make sure you hit like, make sure you guys hit subscribe. We also have another video where we test out 5 different finishing sheets. You definitely want to watch that video. It shows you different results that you guys can get just by using different sheets. So make sure you guys watch that video.